How to become an audio engineer. Brought to you by jobsearchchannel.com.
All right, guys, what's going on today? So we are going to be going over the question of who is, or better yet, who was the Backstreet Boys music producer. So I got started in music production about 10 years ago, and I am still learning every single day. I think music is one of those things that when you get into it, you need to realize that the landscape is ever-changing, the business is ever-changing, the technology is ever-changing, and just the way we make music is ever-changing. And that's why I think it's very, very important to always be asking new questions and always be seeking out new answers, because you want to stay ahead of the curve. You want to always kind of know what's going on in the realm of music production, especially if you are going or looking for a career in it. So I got started in music because music's always been a huge passion of mine. Music production wasn't necessarily a huge passion of mine, although I got into it because it seemed interesting to me. And that was when I was playing as a singer and guitarist in a couple bands, doing tours here and there across the U.S. And I wanted to see, what is this like on the other side? It had always looked very appealing, the way that people could kind of create music for others and, sit behind a mixing desk and come out at the end of the day with a brand new song. It was always very cool to me, so I wanted to see what that was all about. I went to school, did a few internships here in LA, which I highly recommend for anybody looking to get into music. I think it's very, very important. And eventually came out on the other side working as a music producer, writer, and composer at a sync music studio here in Los Angeles, where I've been for the past 2 years. Now, you might want to know the question of who is the Backstreet Boys producer, because you've heard quite a lot about the notorious story, and you kind of want to get to know more about who this person was that, went from the top to the bottom very, very quickly. That's why we are talking about Lou Pearlman, of course. Now, Lou Pearlman is a very, very notorious figure in the music industry. He formed Airship Enterprises Limited, which basically was used to construct a blimp and a bunch of other aircrafts and airships, and eventually took all of his income from that company and headed over to the music industry, where he created this Transcontinental Records. He pretty much became fascinated with the success of New Kids on the Block, who made hundreds of millions of dollars in record tour and merchandise sales, and wanted to kind of mimic that boy band business model. That's why he created the Backstreet Boys. Now, the Backstreet Boys was created and put together thanks to Pearlman's $3 million talent search. Now, he put some management duties out there to the New Kids on the Block manager, Johnny Wright, as well as his wife, Donna, and they eventually became one of the best-selling boy bands of all time, with record sales of $130 million. They hit gold, platinum, and diamond in about 45 different countries, and once Pearlman realized the success, he went on to use the same formula with NSYNC, as well as some other boy bands, including O-Town, LFO, Take 5, US5, and the girl group Innocence. So he did a lot, and eventually it caught up with him. He was sued in federal court for misrepresentation and fraud, basically withholding money, funneling money from the bands, stealing a lot of their money, and was sued by the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Aaron Carter, and a number of other artists in the music industry. He eventually went to prison, became bankrupt, and died many, many years later. So that is pretty much the short, condensed story of Lou Pearlman, the music producer for the Backstreet Boys. I would highly recommend looking up his story, because I think it is a very important one in the music industry and kind of helped to set a precedent with music producers and artists. That's pretty much it, you guys. If you have any other questions, please feel free to check the description for the link and get in touch with us. All right, take it easy.